YouTube. This is Talking Crazy 88 again for another podcast for you. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday afternoon? Hope everybody's doing very well. I'm not going to keep y'all too long because I know y'all have better things to do than listening to an old man rant on his balcony about life. Hey, the cigar of the day is the Cohiba. Out of my private collection of cigars, of Cuban cigars, gotta meet up with one of my boy who had some Cuban cigars that I'm not gonna disclose who it is or where I got it from or where he got it from. Just so you know, I just got a fresh batch off the boat coming in today. Woo! There's so much to talk about today. Oh man, I really wanted to talk about Chuck the Builder, and I told y'all what was going to happen. I think I had an idea this motherfucker, this asshole wasn't going to last too long, fucking with people. And he got what he deserved. He was just arrested, charged with attempted murder. For shooting a man and shot himself, this dumb motherfucker, outside of a courthouse. Of all places to pull this shit is at a courthouse. Alright? So he got triggered because there was a brother, as he was leaving the court for unrelated charges, something related charges we don't even know what it was about, why he was at the courthouse. And the brother spotted him, pointed and laughed at him right across the street. So this dumb motherfucker, white supremacist asshole, as he is, felt compelled to confront the brother with his gun out, pulling out his gun. The brother told him to get away from me, go on about your business, you don't want this. Then obviously he probably said something to the effect, chipping out, calling him a nigger, and this, that, and the other. So the brother, laid hands on him. And this punk motherfucker decided to pull out his gun and started dumping on the brother. So they were wrestling around with the gun until he shot himself outside of a courthouse, where there's nothing but court officers out there, police officers and sheriff's deputies coming in and out of that courthouse, law enforcement, even FBI agents coming in and out. Stupid motherfucker. He was arrested, charged with attempted murder, and was held on over a $1.2 million bail. Now, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm just going to give you my perspective on it. And my perspective hasn't changed from last week. I didn't think this guy was stupid enough to pull something like this and get arrested so quickly. I thought it was going to be over months or maybe over a year. No, this guy is so... That lets you know that these people are so stupid. We live in a country where there's full of stupid people out there who pick up a camera phone, start recording, and felt compelled to use black folks as, props. Because they think it's funny to have, to have a black man triggered or black woman triggered, and then pull out your jammy and then start shooting, start capping on people to catch a body. There are real world consequences when you get off the internet. Let me talk to the white folks that are listening. Because I know a lot of y'all don't subscribe to this idiot. Y'all just y'all just wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, pay your bills, and that's it. And then whatever free time that you have, you want to enjoy either with your family or just going out, having a good time. You have no interest in, seeing a black man or a black woman and calling him or her a nigger. Now, whatever you say at the dinner table, I don't care. You can say nigga until your white teeth turns white. I don't give a fuck. Alright? I know on the job, y'all be fucking with the black employees. I know you do it. But to make this guy a hero, that says a lot about who you are. Because this guy is no hero. He's not an advocate of free speech. Free speech is only if the government restricts your voice, prevents you from speaking out against the government. It does not mean go out and fuck with people on a daily basis. Now, you may say, yeah, well, I can fuck with you and you ain't going to do anything about it because if you hit me, you're going to go to jail. That may be true. That may be true, but you will be coming out of the hospital with a broken jaw. Remember that brother Adonis out there in Romania? That was he did the right thing, but in the wrong country, where you're a guest in their country, in Romania. Yeah, he was doing a stream, Adonis. The brother Adonis was doing a stream out there in Romania until this drunk, drug addict, meth head cracker decided to come up to him and fuck with him. Now, I can tell he's not an African, he's an FBA. Because, and I think he's an LA boy. And then those LA boys, you don't want to fuck with them. You don't want to go ahead and fuck around and find out. This cracker was fucking with his brother until he had to knock him the fuck out. Now he's paying for it because he's on charges out there in Romania, and we got to find out how we got to get this brother out of that situation. But white folks, you got to recognize that this guy is a coward. You got to recognize he's a coward because he was protected by law enforcement. He's protected by white supremacy, the system of white supremacy of the government, because they allowed him. They said, well, he ain't doing anything illegal. Walking up to black folks, with a weapon in his hand, calling black folks a nigger and daring them to do something about it. And when they do something about it, they get the brothers and sisters, the black men and women, get sprayed with pepper spray or get brandishing a weapon on it, which is called menacing, and they don't really do anything about it. You got to recognize how sophomoric it is and immature and juvenile. And this is a grown man. I believe he's 28 years old. Where he should be out getting a job. But if you really I think a lot of content creators did their background search on this guy, and it turns out he's a loser. Yeah, he had criminal charges prior to this. Criminal convictions prior to this. He doesn't pay his bills. And I was listening to Tariq Nasheed earlier today, and he discussed that $1.2 million bill. They, the system caught up with it. They said, now they figure that they have to do something because this is not only national, this is not local news, it's national news, it's worldwide. And their jobs and their jobs as elected officials are on the line because some of these prosecutors are elected officials. I think down in Tennessee, the DA is an elected official. So he has to do something. They're not going to let him out of jail. He's going to have legal expenses that he's going to have to come up with the money to pay his attorneys. And judging by the look on his face during the bail hearing, he doesn't look too cocky. He didn't look confident. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't kiki and cockeyed. This is real. He realized this is real. I may have done something stupid. I thought I was going to be protected. Nah. They were just tired of your ass. They were just tired of your bullshit. But white folks, let this be a lesson. Just go on about your life. If you're doing content, if you're a content creator, do something that's absent about fucking with people, especially black folks, because you're gonna get hurt. Fucking with people you don't know will liable to get you hurt. But let me go ahead and talk to the black folks, the young black folks. All right? When you see a motherfucker like this, a hillbilly, a cracker hillbilly like this, doing content, he's actually insulting you. He's actually not only insulting you, he's actually insulting your intelligence. He's actually trying to get you to crash out. Where he can catch a body or put you up on charges. Every last one of y'all down in Nashville, Tennessee should have been on code real quick when you see this motherfucker. You don't let anybody disrespect you. That's my rule. I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, Asian, Hindu, Hispanic. You walk up to me, I don't know you, you don't know me, talking about that rah-rah shit, you're gonna get one chance, and one chance only, get the fuck away from me. And if you catch me slipping without a weapon, I'm gonna whoop your ass. It will be a fight. If one of us is gonna go to the hospital, and it's not gonna be me. And I'm not talking tough on the internet. I'm not a tough guy. Anybody that knows me knows me personally. I am not a tough guy. I am not a tough guy. But I'm not going to fool around with it. And at my age, I'm done playing with young folks. I don't play with people. I don't play with people my age. I don't play with young folks. I damn sure don't play with old folks. I don't play around. And you should have that attitude that, hey man, all this playing at a certain point of maturity, you got to stop playing with people. And this is because There are some people out here that play for keeps. Ask Dalton Etheridge. That brother probably he confronted did not have anything to lose. So he didn't give a fuck about a gun, a weapon that you had in his hand. Okay? This is going back to white folks. There are some people out here that don't give a fuck. And you ran into the wrong one. Do you really want to take that chance? To all the content creators out there, to all you white folks out there that creating content that support this motherfucker, support this loser. See, y'all can give him money, y'all can amp him up with the comments on his stream, do all that shit. But see, y'all supporters of Chug the Builder, Dalton Etheridge, y'all are in the safety of your home. Just like me, I'm in the safety of my home, where I could run my mouth, but I'm not going to do that. I could run my mouth and talk shit, but I'm not going to do that. Because that's not what my channel is all about. My channel is about providing mentorship to young black men. Yeah, I'm an older man. I've been doing this for a while. But I like to see myself as a mentor. All right? Because I know the young black men, I gotta get out y'all way. I gotta get out y'all way because I live my life. I want you to live your life. I want y'all to take advantage of every opportunity that's afforded to you in this life. That's the purpose of this channel. I'm just here to give my perspective of life as being a black man and what I've observed either in the real world or on the internet. Speaking of mentoring brothers, let me get off of that bullshit because that's what it really is bullshit with this clown. He's right where he is. He's not getting out anytime soon. And if he does make bail, and if somebody's stupid enough to post his bail, keep in mind, people, he's gonna go back out and do streaming again because he's stupid. But minus the pepper spray, minus his weapon. He's not allowed to carry if he's on charges of murder. So he's safe. He's safer in jail than out in amongst us. Because if he's up here walking around, brother might catch him. He might be caught slipping. Brother might catch him slipping, and that's it. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. So all you white folks out there that are donating to his cause, save your money. We're in a bad economy right now. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I don't give a fuck what you do with your money. You can give it to them. You can give it away. You can bail them out if you want to. But I think it's counterproductive for you to spend your time and your money supporting this loser. When in fact, you should be supporting winners. Go out and use that money to support little leagues or charities, or people that may need your assistance, that may need help in this life. Don't give it away to these losers on the internet who really, at the end of the day, he didn't really give a fuck about y'all. He didn't give a fuck whether you support him or not. So fuck him. He's right where he's belong. And I implore, if you want to give your money away, give it to the brother that actually played pause on this brother that's in the hospital right now with a gunshot wound, that may need ongoing medical assistance for the rest of his life. The brother already raised $62,000 on GoFundMe. I'm gonna send him a few dollars on GoFundMe. I mean, there's a reason why I took a couple of years hiatus from doing content. Because I got to get back in the real world. I have a life outside of the internet. I have a life outside of YouTube. I have a life. But anyway, there was a rapper named Julio that was executed by 4 urban terrorists. Right? 4 urban terrorists down in Florida. 4 nappy-headed urban terrorists down in Florida. They were convicted, sentenced to. Now they're trying to make a determination whether these nappy-headed urban terrorists should go spend the rest of their life in prison, or on the death penalty, or sentenced to death. And this murder, this execution, was triggered by a little black woman put a battery in these 4 idiots' back to commit this murder. All because of a black woman. Again, young men who are listening, whether you're smart or stupid, I want you to listen to me. The problems that you are having is maybe because of a woman. Repeat after me. The problems that you are having right now is because of a woman. You're fighting over a woman. You're murdering another black man over a woman. You're having babies with these women, and you're not paying, and you're not honoring your obligations. And if you are honoring your obligations, this woman is entitled to fuck with you for the rest of your life. Because that's what women do. Especially if they don't see you, okay, as the man that they wanted, that they really wanted in this life. Okay? Or you're the man that they really wanted, but you did not want her. See what I'm saying? You felt compelled to have women all over the place and not being honest with these women. But yet you get so pussy whipped. And I know you young folks, I know you young men out there, y'all get to smell the pussy a little bit and y'all just lose your damn mind. I know I was there. Believe me, I was there. I was young once. I did a 6-part podcast detailing how I was so pussy whipped that it brought me into bankruptcy until I woke up and realized, and it took me years to realize that a lot of y'all women, all of y'all women, 99% of the women out there that you're going to encounter ain't shit. And I realized, look at the pedigree, vet them out. These women have credit card debt up their ass. They're in debt. They have men that they fell in love with and that use them up. They have bodies on them because they were throwing their pussy around or using their pussy as a small business at one point. Then they're going to go back to the church and then they're going to try to find a good man, a sucker like you, when they get old. Okay? When they age out. When they age out of their beauty, when they age out of their childbearing years. But yet y'all get pussy fucked. You got pussy whooped. Okay? John Witherspoon said it best. You shouldn't let that pussy whoop you. You should be whooping that pussy. Bang, 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 bang. God, I miss John Witherspoon. Pops Witherspoon. I miss him. I'm gonna talk about him on my next podcast, man. How he attained success after 50 when he was in his 40s and 50s. It gets greater later. I might do a whole podcast on men who became successful after 50. Maury Povich was broke up until his 50s. Did y'all know that? Got his big break on Current Affair and then did his talk show, and his talk show blew up, man. You are not the father. It's always greater later. But you got to work hard when you're young, fellas. But it gets greater later if you stick with it. The fact that these 4 idiots, 3 of them were crying in court, realizing that they're going to either spend the rest of their life in prison or sentenced to death. They realized the ramifications of what they did. Now, I don't know much about the case. I just seen that these idiots, they were up on trial, they got convicted, sentenced to death. Now, and I want you fellas, black men, young black men, I'm not talking about the old heads like me, the young black men out there, I want you to listen, go back to that trial, listen to the part, there was a clip where during the hearing, the sentencing hearing, whether they decide, where the judge has to decide whether they spend the rest of their life in prison or the death penalty. Now, there was a prison warden who testified and saying that these young men are young and healthy. They're more useful alive than dead. Because they can put them out, they can have them go out and work in the prison system. Because they have no chance of getting out, because Florida does not have any parole when it comes to this type of murder, when it comes to this type of charge. When they say life without parole, that's it. There is no parole. You're living the rest of your life in prison. You're going to die as an old man in prison if you make it to be an old man in prison. More than likely, you're going to be institutionalized. But you're going to live the rest of your life in prison. Meaning that you have no contact or concept of outside of prison. I want you young folks to talk to some of the people, some of the guys that got recently released in prison. And I've seen a couple of videos of guys that have been released after years and decades in prison. The world has changed from 1990, even hell, the 2000s, the start of the 2000 decade, the millennia, to 2026. A lot has changed. Society, technology. I mean, Tracy Morgan did a series about that. He spent years in prison, came back in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, where it was crime all over the place, came back to a gentrified Bed-Stuy, trying to adjust. And you better adjust real quick. And I'm telling you, fellas, life moves fast. When I was 20 in 1994, when I turned 20 in 1994, I couldn't imagine sitting on my balcony smoking a Cuban cigar at 52 years old. Life moves real fast. It moves faster than you think it does. You may not think so, but it does. Do you realize that the prison warden, this is how they see you in prison? They see you as a slave. It's always been. You gotta remember, when they repealed the slavery, the amendment for slavery, there's a clause in there in the Constitution that says, with the exception of criminal and crime, going to prison. You are a slave to the state. You are the ward of the state. You're no longer your own man. You are institutionalized. And that's one of the effects of the crashing out. You may get away with it here up north in New York State, maybe in Illinois, where you got to understand why the criminal justice system, they see you as commerce. When you go inside, they see you, you're nothing but a ward of the state. When you're on parole, you're the ward of the state. You're at the state's will. When you're on probation, you're at the state's will. Because because everybody knows you're walking around on probation and you're out and about. And you're still doing stupid shit, you're going back to prison. You're going back to jail. You're going back to prison. Parole officers and probation officers can fuck with you at this point. You don't realize you're not free. You're just out. And when you do, and what happens when you do get out of prison, black man? What are your opportunities? Your opportunity is to try to be self-sufficient at this point, because you're not going to get a real job. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're out there, you're getting out of prison, and you're thinking about going straight, trying to get a little job at Dairy Queen or at McDonald's, because that's the only jobs that you're going to be qualified to go to. Those are the only jobs that you're qualified to work for, working in construction. So what I would do, if I were you, if you're stupid, you better smarten up. Because only the stupid gets on, they go to prison. They go to jail, go to prison, get on probation, go on parole. Only the stupid would do that. You know how I know the stupid? You're stupid? Look at those body cam videos when they don't know how to read, where people don't know how to read the temperature of the room when you're encountering police. Yeah, if I get stopped by the police, I'm stepping and fetching. I'm cooning. I'm tap dancing. Why? Because I'm not trying to go to jail. Will I preserve my constitutional rights? Yes. I'm not going to answer any questions. Ask me where you're coming from. I prefer not to answer that question, officer. You stopped me for speeding, and I wish to just remain silent for the rest of the stop until you finish your citation. He asked me to step out this car, step out the car. Yeah, there's case law, but just step out the car. They're gonna pull you out anyway. They're gonna get you out of there anyway. And you're gonna get hit with an obstruction charge, and you're gonna go to jail anyway. And go on probation. And you're gonna be convicted of a misdemeanor. And you're gonna go on probation, and you're gonna have to and when you apply for jobs, you're going to have to report that you have a criminal record. The beauty is there's body cams now. Most municipalities that have police officers, sheriff deputies, they have body cams on. So they can't get away with the bullshit that happened when I was growing up. Okay? But back to these four idiots. They're going to be in the system for a long time. And I predict that the judge will sentence these idiots to life in prison, where they're going to grow old in prison. And if they have any children, their children, if they have their children and their grandchildren will graduate from high school, college, while they're still in prison. Okay? And when you do become an old man in prison, you're not going to have anybody to visit you. You're going to be forgotten. You're dead. Life goes on. The only time I would go to prison is if somebody is fucking with my family, or somebody pulls a knife on me and I got a gun on me and I gotta shoot them. It would have to be something really to the point where I have to go ahead and defend my family. I would go to prison for them. But something stupid? No. You gotta be smart. Well, black men that are smart, that's listening to this, they're taking it in. The stupid, they're not gonna listen. So I'm not talking to y'all. I'm not talking to the stupid. Y'all go ahead and continue crashing out, be stupid, go to jail, go to prison, get on probation, go on parole. I don't give a fuck. At this point, I don't give a fuck about you. Let me see how much time I got left because I got shit to do. Alright. Yes, I'm an American. Alright, well, I got shit to do. I've been on here for 40 minutes. I got shit to do. Listen, I gotta go. I might come back and do another live stream or a podcast later on this weekend. I don't know. Who knows? But y'all go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll holler at y'all. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black men, let's be careful out there, all right?